Welcome everyone to Innovating Green Investment Opportunities, where we explore the dynamic world of sustainable investments. Today, joining us is Mick Fabar, the CEO of Green Homes, and we're diving deep into the exciting realm of green innovation and just to uncover the opportunities that not only drive financial returns, but also foster positive environmental change. Let's welcome Mick Fabar.
Thank you, Angel. It's a pleasure to be here. Excited to share some knowledge and have a discussion.
That's good. Hi, Mick. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. And you?
That's good. Good, good. I'm very good. I have a change of camera, so it's quite close to my face, but we're living in the moment. So to start off, Mick, what is Green Homes? As a CEO of Green Homes, what do you think? What is Green
um,
Homes?
so I think the term green homes describes is the universal term for sustainable, energy efficient, healthy homes. I'm not sure that a lot of people understand that the health benefits of a green home, but I think the term green homes is that universal term of energy efficiency, sustainable homes. Most people have a preconceived idea of what a green home would look like. I think from my starting the green homes construction business over 20 years ago, I think that most people think that a green home is a modern-looking, futuristic style home, or a home that's built out of recycled material, which is neither are correct. But we'll dive into that a little bit later. But Green Homes as a company is a global design and construction company that was started in 2006 and originated in Australia.
That's amazing, Mick. So, can you tell us more, like why Green Homes in the first place? Tell us your story.
Sure. Look, I've been a builder since the early 90s, a fully licensed builder, and I was operating a building business that was traditionally just competing with standard other building businesses, run-of-the-mill construction company building residential homes, not giving too much thought into their efficiencies or the way that the homes actually worked. And we decided to change the company in a sense of we wanted to offer something different to our community where we were located because of need, really, to start with. Need as in we wanted to secure more work. We were the big, large builders, the volume builders were securing all the work, and we wanted to have a value proposition or something that clients would seek us out for. So we looked to change in the early 2000s, and we built a couple of energy efficient, sustainable homes, green homes, of course, and the business took off from there. So we specialised in that. We became specialists in that field in our local region, but more widely, over the following few years, we became a leader in Australia for designing energy efficient, sustainable homes and building them in volume and in an affordable way. So we quickly established our local community that grew to, it grew a larger footprint and so forth. By 2012, we had won quite a few numerous awards and national awards, and the opportunity to franchise the business was delivered to us, and because we just couldn't cater for the consumers that wanted our homes in different locations, and builders wanted to attach to the brand. There's a whole story about brand power, and it's not for this conversation, but that's a sort of a business realm. Anyway, we grew the business and we franchised in 2012 across Australia, or franchised, and then it grew across Australia. 2015, we franchised. We launched the brand in New Zealand under the same model, very successful there. And in 2019, we launched the brand in the US after
Mm,
considerable investigation and you know, looking at the market and the consumers and the opportunity and the lack of green building there, the green space, and the amount of consumers that wanted it, but also what's happening in the compliance code and energy efficient space and what governments are wanting. So in 2019, we launched just before COVID, which was quite challenging. Obviously, November 2019, we had no
yeah.
idea that COVID the following year, following March, was going to have such an impact on us globally. But we launched in the US that time. We've been operating across the US ever since.
That's good to hear. So it's been there like for how many years now, Mick?
Yeah, so look, we're in our fifth year in the US, and we've built numerous homes. And it's interesting. I think that listeners on our call today and or viewers might think that might not appreciate this comment, but I think that I was a little bit surprised myself was that the building a home, building a sustainable home, or really any home, the process that a client goes through or consumer goes through from the time that they think about building a home, whether it's buying a completed home or building a home under contract, that process is exactly the same in Australia and New Zealand. It's the same journey. The client follows the same organic pathway from idea to purchase of the home or completion of that project. So I don't know why I thought it would be any different, but I think people think that it's different in Australia than it is in the US or it is in New Zealand. I can tell you that it's exactly the same. Some of the designs are different because of the locality and the climate, but basically the way that we build in all three countries and the consumer journey is exactly the same. So when we figured that out, when we went to the US after we were invited by a partner to have a look at the opportunity there, and I wasn't overly excited about it. So I got there and had a look and went, the opportunity is too big. There was no one
Exactly the
there
same.
there's no one there doing anything green, sustainable, offering energy efficient, affordable, sustainable homes, healthy homes. So that's what we started doing. So got very excited about the opportunity there. And other than the 2 years of COVID, it's been a very wonderful experience in the building industry there.
It's amazing. So, like one of the questions that come up while I was doing research is why do you think people should invest or be interested in green homes, not just financially, but also more on like caring for the environment and like stuff like that? Why do you think they should
Yeah, I
be
think that's
interested?
I mean, obviously financially there's a huge uplift there, but I think that we should all be thinking about the environment and the environment for future generations. Our homes should be energy efficient, healthy, low carbon emitters. That's what they should be. It shouldn't be viewed as an uplift or an add-on or an upgrade, and it doesn't need to be. We should be building as a construction industry. We should be building energy efficient, sustainable, healthy homes, right? I think that there's a mindset that energy efficient homes or green homes cost more money and they're difficult to build or difficult to design. I can tell our listeners that's not the case. It may have been the case in the 50s or the 60s, but that's not the case. The products that exist today that we're using, manufacturers are making and producing energy efficient products, and all the products that we use are standard products. We're not using anything that is any new systems. I think that as a society, we have an obligation to build homes and communities that are energy efficient. It's better for the community, better for the environment, better for the future generations, better for the
Mm.
inhabitants that live in those homes. It's a must. I don't know why anyone would think that is not an important factor in their decision-making process. We should and have to be building energy efficient, sustainable homes.
Amazing, Mick, because your long history of like experience in green homes makes you such an amazing speaker when it comes to it, right? So, what do you think then, would give comfort to those people that would want to invest or at least make their homes more greener? Like you said, it
Yeah, I
it
think
doesn't take much, like you said.
it look, it doesn't, but I just to clarify, I'm not an investment guru, but this is my opinion,
Mm,
that if you're an investor, and most investors, or the most common investment is property, right? Bricks and mortar. And if you're an investor, you would be investment in property is a medium to long term goal. It's rare that it's a short flip. I mean, that is part of the market, but that's not what we're doing. When you think about investing in property, you should be thinking about medium to long term goal. 7 to 10 year turnover. Now, importantly, if you're building a property, you need to build a property that's going to yield as much as it can, or
mm,
be in the upper echelon, that sell as fast as it can, and sell for as much as it can. Now, that is green property. All of our listeners can do their own research, but if you just use any research tool, you'll find that green property sells faster, it sells for a higher amount, it yields better results from the rental market, and you're doing a great thing for the inhabitants and the community and the environment and future generations. So there's all these ticks that go with investing in green property. Large companies, private equity companies, and public companies use a term called ESG money, which is ESG, which is around ESG investments, which is environmentally sound governance, socially responsible investments, and that's a huge part of the market, the investing market now. I think for me, the biggest thing though is that if you're going to invest in a home, you need to invest in a home that is above the benchmark. So you
mm,
invest in a home that's above the benchmark today. When you go to sell it in 10 years' time, if it's still above the benchmark, it's going to perform well financially. Whether that's return of investment, yield, sale, time, whatever that may be. And you can only get that with a green home. I'm not aware that you can get it with anything else. So we're building above the benchmark. And I think importantly, the construction code is changing, and it has to change. It's just changed recently. It's a continual change of evolution for the better. It hasn't changed for some time, but it's now changing. The American government, brought into play the Inflationary Carbon Decarbonisation Act in August 2022. And what that act is that the American government want 100 million green homes built over the next 20 years. They want 10 million built by the mid 2030s, a million new green homes built by 2030. They want 10 million existing homes green remodeled to be more
mm,
efficient and low carbon emitters by 2031. If you're thinking about investing in a property and you're going to be selling that property, in 10 years' time, you need a home that meets those benchmarks. And that will just yield you a better return. And that, from an investment standpoint, that's what it's about. I think the final piece on that is that if it doesn't cost you any more money to invest in
mm,
a green home than a standard home, why wouldn't you do it? If I was saying all of that and said, oh, yeah, there's a 20% premium to buy a green home, that's not the case, right? That's what people are prepared to pay, but that's not what they cost to build. So I think that sort of wraps up the reasons. I think it's environmentally sound, it's good for the community, good for future generations, good for the inhabitants. Financially, it's going to perform better than a standard property. There's lots of opportunities for consumers and investors to secure green properties where standard properties just won't be approved. So I think that it ticks all the boxes, and I think it's important, and I really think that we should be doing that as a investment group, or as builders, occupants. We need to be doing something that's better that ticks all those boxes.
yeah. Because we really we're not getting any younger. We need to take care of the environment, or literally it will,
Absolutely. We need
yeah.
to be building homes that emit less carbon and that perform more efficiently and that have lower energy bills. Some of the homes we're building are energy neutral. They don't have any energy bills at all. and they're carbon free, so they don't emit any carbon into the atmosphere as a lived-in operational home. So, I mean, it isn't that hard, and it's very, very important.
So how do you think make the design principles then influence the long-term value and the marketability of green homes as a property or an investment?
Design principles are very important to get the sustainability of the home right, making sure that the home interacts with its local environment, the sun and shading, and getting the best from that particular home in that location is why the design process is extremely important. And we've got hundreds of designs that have been designed to be plotted in various climates right across the US, and they can be finished in any facade style. But the design is the critical part of the process. If you haven't got the design right, you building an energy efficient home is going to be very difficult if you haven't got the design principles right. So we've been very successful in getting those. We're very experienced in getting those right. We understand what that process is. We've got a very simplistic process of making sure that we tick that box to make sure the right home is in the right location, facing in the right direction, windows are in the right location. That's just one of the principles of building sustainably, but it's a very important one.
Got it, Mick. So, some people might say that building a green homes or being interested in green homes is an industry changer, a culture changer. So, what do you think are the, might I say, trends or like future projections that green homes have in the market and like both nationally and globally, really?
Yeah, I think let's just address the word trend. I think trend represents something that comes in and goes out, and I think green homes, sustainable construction, and energy efficient building is not a trend. It's been on the rise for years, and I think what I found, particularly with the US market, is that per capita, it's the most effluent market for green construction. So what I'm saying is consumers absolutely are there in their abundance for both buying new homes, building new homes, and renting new homes. There's a massive home shortage in the US, a huge home shortage. The government want to fix that home shortage across the US over the next 15 to 20 years and beyond that by building new energy efficient green homes and remodeling existing homes to be energy efficient. That's not a trend. That's a whole commitment to the space. So I think importantly for consumers thinking about investing in a home or in property, it has to be green. Like you wouldn't even consider anything else, especially when I say that it doesn't cost you any more money to do that. And there's multiple opportunities to get into the green home market. You want a home you want an investment, I believe, personally, that is doing wonderful things for the environment and the inhabitants, giving you the best possible return, which a green home will do that, and the best possible security. Beyond that, I think there's a multitude of other opportunities. There's green home loans with lower interest rates and lower risk premiums on them that are only available to consumers looking for purchasing green homes. There's communities there's communities where they'll only let developers build homes now that are green, energy efficient, sustainable. So they will quickly outperform and grow the existing housing market and housing stock. So if you're going to invest in something, you want the best stock, right? You want the best
Yeah,
opportunity
exactly.
to create money, but you also want to be doing the right thing. And I think doing the right thing is very, very important. Being environmentally sound with your investments is important. Environmentally sensitive, to humanity and our community is equally good. So equally important. So for me, again, I'm not an investment guru, but it just makes perfect sense. I don't see any negative in investing in a green home community or building a new green home. It's just what everyone should be doing.
So how do you think make does green homes address the critical shortage of sustainable and energy efficient housing in the US? Like a second question to follow up to that is, what is your strategy when in regards to the green residential properties that you're planning to do?
Yeah, so we're building numerous properties across the US in multiple locations. I think the whole of the US, nearly in every state, has a green build agenda, and incorporating the Inflation Act from August 2022, which is the decarbonisation program that the American government's rolled out, in the Department of Energy. So we're building across the US. We've got multiple green communities planned where we've got lots of homes free. In example, we've got 49 homes in Atlanta that are all energy neutral and carbon free, brand new freestanding homes under construction that are available. We're building model homes or show homes, display homes, similar similar terms for exactly the same product, which is demonstration homes in various locations across the US that people can invest in, where the builder builds the home, demonstration home, energy neutral, carbon free, high quality home, and then rents that back from the investors so they can showcase that to their community. So we've got multiple projects underway in multiple locations where we're addressing that shortage. We will never be able to get anywhere near the amount of homes that are required, but we are certainly leading the way and chipping away at the shortage of homes. But more importantly, we're 100% committed to building energy efficient, sustainable, healthy homes. I think one of the things that we haven't touched on in this conversation is the health benefits from living in a green home. The low toxins, the healthy air environment, the natural air environment that a green home will deliver. That's very, very important. It's been, our listeners and viewers can do multiple research. In 5 minutes, you'll see that energy efficient, sustainable homes have a health benefit that go far beyond a standard home. And I think all of those things, I think we have an obligation to build them, and I'm very proud of what we do. But I think from investment standpoint and homeowners standpoint, I just can't see why they wouldn't consider that as an option if it's available to them, and it should be available to everyone.
Got it, Mick. So it's like we're trying to guide them in making choices that resonate not just with their financial capabilities, right? But also with their desire to leave a positive impact on the world and future generations. So with this, how can investors really assess the opportunities associated with green homes compared to like traditional real estate assets?
Well, I think the opportunity around green homes is that investors can do their own research and they will find that investment. And I'm repeating myself a little bit, but green homes are selling for a higher premium. They're selling faster. They're selling faster on the market. Matter of time to sale. They're yielding at a higher value in their rental return, and they are leaving this positive footprint, right? So investors need to understand that process. The rest of the property investment type strategy remains. Why would you invest in property, and what's the optimal time in property investment, and what's the turnover time and the security reasons for it. That all is consistent with standard property investment. So I think 95% of investors invest in bricks and mortar property. My suggestion is that you just invest in the best property that you can, and that's a sustainable one. Our investments give our investment opportunities with green homes and our properties give something that other property investment doesn't, which is the environmental conscious security around that, security environmentally and health-wise for tenants, better security from a resale value. It's just better stock. It's really undisputable. So, in saying that, in the commercial space, we've got investment groups, large investment groups, private equity groups, and public companies investing in green property, green commercial property. And they use, funds, ESG funds. And I think any of our investors can do, a quick research will bring them up to speed on that. But the property investment rules apply to green property just like they do to normal property. It's the same process of investing. It's just a better stock to hold because of the benchmarks that are climbing over the years. Financially, obviously, from a code perspective, from a building code perspective, and from an environmental impact perspective is really, really important. I think that investors can sleep well. Our investors and our owners can sleep well at night knowing that they're making a positive impact with their investment. There's nothing wrong with making money. That's what we should be doing, right? That's why we're investing, and that's why we invest, and that's why I build homes, and that's, there's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly why we're doing it. But doing it and making a positive impact to the world and the consumers and that environment and the tenants is something that is that's a really unique that's a really unique
makes a
gratitude.
difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a difference. And there's you can be really proud of what you're doing. And I think that's really important. So it certainly is for me. And that's something that I get feedback from all the time with our investors or people that are buying, building green homes and investing in green homes, is that there's a whole another realm of reasons that become apparent. And I think that's really important.
Got it. And you get instant bragging rights a little bit, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Having investments in green properties across the US and doing better. I mean, that's a unique proposition. That's a unique opportunity that's not available to many. So yeah, I think that's the bragging rights. That clarity of being able to feel confident and good about what you're doing, and that's what we should be doing.
Got it. So looking ahead, Mick, so what do you think are the exciting new possibilities, or again, might I say, for the lack of a better term, trends, do you see unfolding in the future in the green home sector, that investors can tap into, or at least just people who are looking for green homes could tap into, not just for profit, but to contribute to a meaningful and more sustainable future for not just for them really, but for everyone around them?
Look, I think the big thing at the moment is building. For us, it's two things. I think it's building energy neutral homes, so homes that produce as much renewable energy that they need for the year than they use, or more than they use. I think that's really important. I see that as the single biggest focus, if I had to, or maybe the priority of focus. So building a home that is energy efficient and reduces its energy use by 70% is really important, but also has a renewable energy system that then delivers, that 30-40% of energy that it does use, I think is really, really important. And I think by doing that, we're achieving, things beyond the comprehension of what the owner or investor might consider. And one of those things is that the home becomes carbon free. So the big movement globally is that, in most first world country governments, is to decarbonize our homes. So across America, for example, is that the American government have completed a study for many years, and I was involved and still am involved on a consultancy group advisory board to the ABC Collaborative and who support the DOE of American Department of Energy. And basically what they've worked out is that over the last sort of 6 or 7 years I've been doing this study, is that America has an abundance of homes across the country that have another 30, 40, 50 years of life, and builders and consumers are building new homes that are completely inefficient from a carbon perspective. So they're emitting carbons in the operation of the home, so that the government cannot meet its global carbon climate goals, and that's common around the world. So most countries have got the same problem. So strategically and aggressively, they need to address the decarbonisation of their existing home stock across the US. They're not going to knock down hundreds of millions of homes and rebuild them. They want to remodel them, and they also want new homes that are built that are not cut. They want to lower the carbon load or the carbon emissions. I'm trying to explain it so people understand it. So that's not a trend. That is a commitment from the government and the community and our societies over the next 20, 30, 40 years is to build homes that are low in carbon emissions and that are energy efficient. So what we do, what our stock does, and where I believe the real opportunity here is to invest in homes that are energy neutral and carbon free. So there's no carbon load on the environment. There's no carbon load on the community. There's no energy bills for the tenant. There's no energy bills for the homeowner or the community. And I think that is really, really important. I don't know that I've ever spoken to anyone that doesn't understand or appreciate the value of that proposition. From an investment standpoint, it doesn't cost any more money to do this. This is, if you want to invest in a standard home, you want to invest in a green home, you want to build a green home, they don't cost any more to build. So that's where I think the real traction hits the road, and the real opportunity is that they're available for homeowners and investors. And this isn't a trend. This is a global commitment. We're just wholly green homes. We're just 100% focused on that commitment and that opportunity. So over the next however many years, 10, 20, 30 years, we'll be building hundreds, thousands of homes that are energy neutral and carbon free. And that's our commitment. That's our vision. That's our mission. That's our whole reason for being. So we don't build homes that are not energy efficient and add carbon load to the environment. We just don't do that. So, and there's no reason that why we should be doing that. That's exactly the opposite. So, I think that's what the next, 20, 30, 40 years look like for the home industry or the housing industry or the construction industry.
So it's so much fun to learn and know more about green homes, Mick, because like growing up as well, whenever someone brings up green homes, the first thing is probably everyone else that's watching this. The first thing that comes to mind is solar panels, and that's it. But it's got to be more than that. Like what you said earlier. Um, the position of your windows, the way the shadows and like stuff like that. It's amazing to know that there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, well, I think that's a very important point, Angel, that putting solar panels on the existing home doesn't make it a sustainable home. It just makes the home, all it does is for that home is just make sure that home is using renewable energy for the energy source, but it doesn't make the home sustainable or healthy or carbon free or it doesn't change the level of toxins in that home or how that home performs is in as far as the use of its energy. I think that the really important thing is to design and build homes that are reduced energy users to start with. The home in itself, without any energy support, has to reduce the energy load. It has to be sustainable. It has to be healthy. It has to be sealed properly. It has to be facing in the right direction. We have to interact the home with the environment. The sun paths in that. If it's a hot climate, we don't want the sun in. If it's a cool climate, we need the sun in the winter. We need to get that right. Then you add the solar renewable energy component and other smart technologies that make the home efficient, smart to run, but and from a renewable energy source. But the home itself has to be sustainable. And a lot of people get confused and they think that putting solar panels on a home will make a home a green home. That's not the case. And they also think that there is a bit of confusion in the market about around smart home technology. So systems that can operate your home from your phone, from your iPhone, or other devices. That doesn't make a home any more efficient either. Sure, you can control the energy load or you can turn things on and off, but it doesn't change the DNA of that home. I think really importantly, what we need to be doing as a society, and what investors need to be looking at, is homes that, by their construction, by their DNA, are efficient, sustainable, and healthy. Period. Then, on top of that, we've got renewable energy sources, and we've got smart technology that run those homes, and we've got all of those things. But they're all upgrades. But I think there's confusion in the market there. But over the next couple of years, that as well will become very apparent as we move to, as a society, and the governments move the construction industry towards energy efficiency, low carbon or zero carbon homes. I think that's really important, that people understand the difference there.
It's amazing, Mick. So, if they do want to talk to you, like more about this investment wise, or maybe they want to build a green home with you in their hometown or something like that, how will they be able to reach you? Please let the audience know.
So on the back of this webinar, or on your screen at the end of this webinar, there'll be our contact details. We've got lots of opportunities. We're building in right across America. We've got lots of opportunities on display homes or model homes, show homes, which is a huge investment opportunity, where there's guaranteed rental return. People can book into my calendar. I'm happy to share my knowledge. I'm happy to help people on their journey. Yes, as I said, we've got multiple investment opportunities. We've got multiple green communities under design and construction. We've got. I consider myself an expert in this space. I'm very experienced in the green home space. I've been in this space. I've been a master builder for over 30 years, and I've been building. I've built thousands of energy efficient homes. I've built the highest rated, most efficient home in Australia and New Zealand, and my goal is to completely change the building landscape, residential building landscape in America. Green Homes has won Global Home of the Year, awarded by the National Association of Home Builders in 2023. We have solid credibility in the construction industry, and leaders in the green space. So, and I'm more than happy to share my knowledge and help people on their journey. Book into my calendar. You can download some information, and let's have a discussion about how I can help you, or how we can help you invest in the green residential building space.
Thank you, Mick. So I will send that over to the chat on this webinar so everyone can see. So that would be Mick's calendar link and his email that you can reach out to whenever you have, whenever you're interested to just talk to him about more about the investment, or just the interest of building a home, a green home, an actual green home with him. So I have sent that in. So if you do have any questions, just click on the Q&A, because you won't be able to use the chat as an audience. So if you have any questions, put that question on the Q&A. You'll be able to see that.
Thank you, Angel. And also on our GH Builders USA website, there's downloads for how to build a green home, what the principles are. There's showcases there of different communities we're working on. So also would suggest that people have a quick look at that. But look, shoot me an email, and I'm happy to share specific links to projects where we've got multiple opportunities in play.
So can I have that, Vic, the link, so that we can send it on the chat as well?
Yeah, so it's just to the Green Home, the USA Green Home Builders website. I think it's ghbuilders.com.
I think at ghbuildersusa.com. So I'll put that on the chat as well, so everyone will be able to look at that. And then if they want to know more, to delve deep into it, they can email you and book a meeting on your calendar. And yeah, thank you, Mick, for joining us today on like this webinar to talk about green homes, investment opportunities, and just living life, not just for the now, but for the future generations that will come.
Look, thank you, Angela. I'm passionate about building sustainable homes. I get excited about helping people get into that space. I get excited about people getting excited about building energy efficient, low carbon emitting homes. So I'm always open to chat and always open to helping share my knowledge and share my experience about the building industry and about investment opportunities downstream. So again, I just invite people to communicate and ask the questions. No question is a silly question, and I'm happy to share the information with you so you can start your journey.
Thank you, Mick. So to the audience that are watching us, thank you for joining us, and we hope today's session at least gave you the information you needed and inspired you not just financially invest on something that will make the world a better place, but also build something that can make the world a much happier place to live in and a healthier place to live in. So it's shaping up like building green homes, it's shaping up to be a key player in the future of real estate. So thank you everyone, and that concludes today's webinar. So again, if you have any questions or if you want to book a call with Mick, all the details will be on the chat. And yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Mick.
Thank you, Angel, and thank you, everyone. Look forward to continuing the chat.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.